Hi, this is Gwen Foster. I see a lot of clients and have a lot of requests for help with people with brain issues. And when I say brain issues, I'm talking about mood disorders, anxiety, depression, panic, PTSD, bipolar, manic, but also brain not working, hard to stay focused, hard to concentrate, hard to remember things. And I do love C60, as you know, if you watch my other videos. C60 is one of my favorite brain things. But also what I want to talk about is amino acids, and I want to talk about some things that have went wrong with some people and possibly why. So I've been following blood type theory for over 20 years. I've been following blood type O diet for maybe 24 years, longer than I've been working with clients. And what I know is that people act like their blood type. And if they don't act like their blood type, and I'll explain that in a minute, it's probably because they have something else going on. Like blood type O's usually like meat and they eat a lot of it and they digest it fine. But let's say a blood type O has had their gallbladder removed or they have liver issues. Then they may not act like a blood type O because of digestive issues. But what I see the most is like if 100 people walk to my door and they have, let's say, anxiety, depression, brain fog, 90% of them are blood type A's or vegans. Now, I'm going to talk about both of those. Blood type A's usually are somewhat adverse to beef. Like they may not eat it at all, or they might eat it like once a month. And when you're talking about women, especially menstruating women, women need iron and they need amino acids, and because they're losing it through their menstrual cycle. And if you give me, especially a tired woman who has any kind of emotional or mental imbalances, it's almost always nutritional. It could be hormonal, it could be situational, of course, but I always start with nutrition first, because if they are losing their nutrition and if they're eating junk and if they're not eating beef, because beef gives you all 22 amino acids, beef gives you iron. No other food does that. And the problem with vegans, I have no problem with vegans, especially because people are vegans for different reasons, but the problem with vegans is they don't supplement correctly. And they're taught, or they think, that beans and rice are a complete protein. And that's just BS. Beans and rice don't give you not even close to what beef gives you. The other myth, and this has been going on forever, it's actually been reversed, but some people missed that memo, is a lot of people were avoiding beef for health reasons. So a lot of people were avoiding beef because, cardiovascular disease or high cholesterol. Beef is not the problem with, you shouldn't eat chunks of fat off of a ribeye. That's probably not a great idea. But if your body is digesting fat properly, that would not be a problem. Some people have high cholesterol because of low thyroid. Some people have high cholesterol because they can't break down fats properly. Sometimes people can't break down fat just because of their blood type. And the way to correct that is through a digestive enzyme, and we'll get into thyroid stuff on another video. But what I would suggest is if you have any kind of issue with anxiety or depression, especially sleep issues, cognition issues, focus and retention of information, I would start with amino acids, and I would also suggest eating more beef or at least supplementing with iron and amino acids. And I think that if you do that for a few months, you should definitely see a difference. I'm an O positive. I've tried to be a vegan a few times in my life, and it was always a disaster. And the third time I did it, I knew how to supplement, and it still did not do the trick. I eat beef regularly, and I eat grass-fed organic beef. But if you are blood type O especially, and you try to be vegan, the symptoms are just feeling weak and tired and loss of vitality. You just feel like, you just lose that spark. If you are other blood types and don't eat beef, then again, you have to supplement what you're not getting, because most of these mental and emotional issues are just simply diet and not getting what you need. If you're a vegan, it takes a lot of supplementation or a lot of food variety and food prepping to get. I don't even know if I believe that you can get what you can get in a normal diet. I think I've had, and I'm not exaggerating, I think I've had one vegan ever that was completely physically, emotionally, and mentally feeling great after being a vegan for a long period of time. And she was a very good eater as far as variety and meal planning. There's a lot of vegans that are junk food vegans, you know, like they eat Cheetos and think that's fine, or chips and queso. It's not giving them, though, well, that's not, I mean, there's a difference between vegan and vegetarianism, but you know what I mean. They're not eating meat. But even if they're eating other stuff, you know, Fritos or veggie pizzas, it's not getting the nutrition that the brain needs to work properly. So I would start with amino acids and iron. There's homeopathic amino acids. There's different forms of amino acids that I carry, lots of different brands. There's a neurotransmitter form that I use to try to help distinguish where the amino acid deficiency might be. If you want more information or want a copy of that handout, you can send an email to gwen@gfia.net. And if I can find a way to link that to this video, I will do that. Thanks a lot for listening. Like and subscribe.